What exactly am I supposed to understand when I'm working with the number 1? The property of 1. It is very, very important number to be considered, as 1 is an identity element. 1 is an identity element. All right, what am I trying to say here? 1 is an identity element of multiplication, meaning to say, as a property of 1, any number that you take, 22 multiply by 1, 10 multiply by 1. What exactly happens? What is 22 times 1? It is 22. What is 10 times 1? It is 10. What exactly are we seeing here, guys? If this is 22, we are still having that. If this is 10, we still have that 10 here. So what if I'm having A times 1? It is still going to give me A. So meaning to say, as I multiply any number to 1 or multiply it by 1, it does not change the number. That does not change the number. That is the first property of 1 under a multiplication. Multiplying by what? By 1. Multiplying by, all right, multiplying any number. I'm just going to write in short, any number by 1 does not, all right, does not change. It does not change the number. So this is the first property. So 1 is an identity element of multiplication. 20 times 1, that is a 20. 100 times 1, that is a 100. Does not matter. So 0 times 1 is what? Any number to 1. So meaning to say that's a 0. Is that so? All right, that is what you're going to have. We are going to prove it working with the property of 0, all right? There's a property of 0 again, which is our next class. So you're going to prove that truly that 0 times 1 is what is a 0. So this is for a multiplication, which is the same as for a division again, all right? This also applies to a division. So if you are to divide, all right, dividing, all right, dividing any number, so I'm just going to write in short, any number by 1 does not change the number, does not change the number. So meaning to say 2, our number, over 1, dividing by 1, it is going to give us a 2. 2 divided by 1 is a 2. This is what we have. So 3 over 1 is a 3. So you must be very careful when it is like that. So meaning to say 0 over 1 is what? 0 over 1 is what? That's a 0. Is this true? You must understand all these basics. So 1 is just like what we had on a multiplication, an identity element. When it is for a division like this, 1 becomes an identity element of what? Of a division. So this is it. The effect of 1 dividing by 1, multiplying by 1 does not affect. So do not confuse when you add, guys. Adding it affects subtracting, it affects, but multiplication and division is not affected. When you multiply, when you multiply by what? When you multiply by 1, any number by 1, you're gonna get that number. When you are doing a division, dividing any number by 1, you're still gonna get that number that you have. So this is the idea. Do revise as many questions as you can.